Odell Beckham Jr. dominated high school football, was a star in college, was a young sensation in the NFL, and was also on the cover of Madden 16. He was on a record-setting pace. He was averaging over 1,300 yards in his first 3 seasons. Let's not joke around or kid ourselves. OBJ was a flat-out baller, and he was taking over the world by storm. To say he was an internet sensation 5 to 6 years ago may be an understatement. Odell had every kid and even grown men wearing his jersey wherever you went. And oh yeah, we can't forget to mention when he completely broke social media when he made that one-handed catch. That single catch alone is arguably one of the greatest catches you'll ever see, and maybe one of the most iconic ones out there. In only his first couple of seasons, he was in the conversation for the best wide receiver in the league. This man was living his own childhood dream. He was in the NFL, a star player, and getting paid millions of dollars. It couldn't have got any better. Of course, like always, he had some haters, but overall, I'd say the New York fanbase, they loved him. As great as things seemed and appeared for him, it all came down crashing very fast. The unanswered question even till this day is, how bad did it really get? Maybe this will tell you some information. It got to the point where he debated quitting football forever. The fact he was in his prime and thinking and debating about it, it's ridiculous. Not only that, his coaching staff quote unquote betrayed him, they didn't like him, and he got this whole diva reputation in the entire league. Odell is a guy who wears his heart on his sleeves, but it got to the point where it was too much for the New York Giants coaching staff. Odell and the Giants had a huge fall off. It got to the point where they couldn't do anything else but trade him to the Browns. Ever since he's got traded to the Browns, it's been absolutely atrocious. In the past 2 seasons, he only has 500 receiving yards. To put that in perspective, in his rookie season, he had over 1,300. It goes without being said. Odell, Baker Mayfield, the Browns, it hasn't worked out. His own dad has even thrown shots at Baker Mayfield in the organization. There's also been some rumors that he hasn't been the best teammate, and a couple of days ago, the Browns released him. Currently, as to when I'm making this video, Odell is not even on a football team. Kind of surreal to think about considering how great he was in his first 2 to 3 seasons. I don't think you understand. Every single year, his production, numbers, overall as a player, it gets worse. I don't make too many NFL football videos. I had to make this one for this sole reason. This is one of the more intriguing players and fall-offs we've ever seen because nobody knows what went wrong with Odell. Is it his fault? Is it the team's fault? Or is it a combination of several things? There's a lot of questions to be asked and a lot of questions to be answered. But however, with all that being said, it leaves us with the main question today. What really happened to Odell Beckham? What's good, y'all? Hope you're having a blessed day. Just want to drop by and say it helps the channel out tremendously when you leave likes and hit that subscribe button. It also shows me you want to see more videos like this, so feel free to do that. Hope you enjoy. Let's continue on. OBJ, aka Odell Beckham Jr. I'm extremely excited to get into this one. I hope you guys are too. I would go out on a limb here and say OBJ is a fan favorite, or at least he was. He's a cool guy. He's got that swagger to himself a lot of kids like. To get into Mr. OBJ's story, you already know. We gotta throw it all the way back to where things started. Coming out of high school, Odell was regarded as a 3-star recruit on ESPN, and he had offers from all the big-time schools. Rightfully so, this guy wasn't the tallest, but he was quick and explosive at the high school level. In 2 years of high school football, he had 1,762 receiving yards and over 450 rushing yards. The talent and skill was always there, it just needed some development. In high school, he was an all-state wide receiver and also the offensive MVP of his district. Also gotta throw in there, he played basketball and he was relatively good and also played track and field. He was a straight up athlete, but football by far was his best sport. He wound up deciding to commit and sign with LSU, and now this is where our story really starts to get going. In 2011, as a true freshman, he made an immediate impact. I want to give this a lot of credit and speak on it. Around this time frame, you didn't see true freshman wide receivers come in and do what he was doing. I mean, even now in the modern era of college football, to see a true freshman and produce, it's kind of rare. His first season wasn't crazy, I'd say it was above average. He had 41 receptions for 475 yards with 2 touchdowns. Not too shabby. The best part about his game, in my opinion, was he continued to get better and improve each season. Flash forward in time to 2012, he had 43 receptions for over 700 yards with 2 touchdowns. Right there we see it. His numbers jumped up from the previous year. At this point in time in his career, he wasn't all over a lot of mock drafts because, quite frankly, he wasn't that impressive. and the next year, that would change. In 2013, he would jump up all of his numbers tremendously. He had 59 receptions for 1,152 yards, averaging 20 yards a catch and 8 total touchdowns. Putting up over 1,000 receiving yards in the SEC is really good, I'll leave it at that. After his junior season, he did decide to declare for the 2014 NFL Draft. I wouldn't say it was a unreal decision at the time, but it did shock some people. Okay, hold on. I realize what I just said, it kind of sounds dumb. When I say it shocked some people, I mean the local fans at LSU. They was hoping he would come back. It wasn't that much of a shock. Anyways, let's continue on. It turned out to declare early, it was the right decision. The New York Giants picked him up with the 12th overall pick in the first round of the NFL Draft. Very similar to his freshman year at LSU, he produced right away. I'm not going to bore you and talk about each and every game and all of his football career because this would be an hour-long video. I will touch on this one. I think this was the turning point in his career. During his rookie season in his first Monday Night Football game, he had 8 catches for 156 yards. The Giants did lose this game, but that performance did not go unnoticed. Everybody was like, yo, hold on. We might have something special with this kid. Later that season against the Dallas Cowboys in another primetime game on Sunday Night Football, he had 10 catches, 146 yards, with the catch we all remember, the one-handed one on the sideline. At the time, people were labeling this as the catch of the year. It wasn't the catch of the year, in my opinion. It's one of the top 3 or 5 catches of all time. Maybe top 2. I could go on and on. I'm going to speed it up. He had ridiculous games and a ridiculous rookie season. In 2014, he had 91 catches for 1,305 yards with 12 touchdowns. Amazing. But however, it had some people asking the same question. Was this a rookie fluke, or could he do it again? You know how it is in life. If you get a little success, people are going to say it's luck, and I guess he shut those rumors down. His next year was even better. He jumped his receptions up to 96 and had 1,450 yards with 13 TDs. Kind of a similar situation. He had some people saying, you know what, this kid, he's getting lucky, he's having a couple good years, I want to see him do it again to see if he's the real deal. After 2015, his third season might have been his best of his career. He had 101 catches, yes that's right, 101, with 1,367 yards with 10 touchdowns. Look, I'm going to be honest, if you're getting over 100 catches in 1 year, you got to be good, that's all I'm going to say. I sped through those 3 years rather quickly because we have a lot to get into. In 2017, this was arguably the downfall or start to a bad trend with the Giants. Wasn't nothing that really was going on with the organization, but he did get hurt and only got to play in 4 games. In the following year, coming off that injury, his numbers were good, but not as good as his first 3 seasons. He only had 77 catches for 1,000 yards with 6 TDs. Good numbers, but not quite as good as his other years. What is so odd about the Odell story is the fact that there was problems going on, but nobody knew at the time. The problems didn't get announced until after he left. I would say a main reason for that is because he couldn't throw his team and Eli Manning under the bus. Although Odell was putting up insane numbers, him and the organization were not on the same page. I'm sure you've heard the phrase, wearing your heart on the sleeve. If you don't know what it means, I'll explain real shortly. Basically, in other terms, to dumb it down, it means you show a lot of emotion. He doesn't do it as much now, maybe it's because he doesn't want to get fined, but early in his years, he definitely wore his heart on his sleeve, and if he scored a touchdown, he was going to let you know about it. I wouldn't say he was a big trash talker, but he liked to hit the whip, the nay-nay, and do all those celebrations. Was it too much? I don't know. I just see it as a guy having fun. To go along with that, there was somewhat a bad side. If he did something good, he was going to celebrate. But if he did something bad, he was going to do stuff like kick the net down. I'm sure you remember that. And he also showed his frustrations a lot on the bench. He would throw his helmet and do some other things. To me, as a former athlete, doesn't seem like a big of a deal. But for the Giants, they didn't like it. It was being said that him and the coach didn't get along. A lot of the coaching staff, they thought he was a bit of a diva and had an ego. Here's my thing, and my problem with it. I wouldn't label Odell Beckham as a diva. I look at him as a guy who's upset he's losing. Am I saying Odell was in the right for throwing a fit? No, but that's who he was. Let me put it this way. If he's throwing a fit and he's showing his emotions, it means he cares. If he didn't show emotion, he didn't care. To make a really long story short, the Giants, they had enough of him, so they decided what was best for the team was to trade him. It wasn't until after he got traded when OBJ finally opened up about how it was like playing for the Giants. According to Odell himself, here's what he had to say in an interview, and you're going to find this interesting. Quote unquote, I felt betrayed in a sense that the coach had tried to turn me against my brothers and my people. The coach was telling the young guys to stay away from me because I'm not a good person or not a good team player or not a good role model, this and that. Honestly, from that quote and in the interview I watched, Odell was pretty sad about it. You can feel how you want. I think it's messed up how the coaching staff at New York treated him. I mean, we are not talking about a scrub or a random wide receiver. This was one of the best at his time. And you got your own coaches telling players to stay away from him and he's a bad influence. I disagree. Odell even added in a different statement, "I never thought I would play for another team besides the Giants. I never wanted to win a championship for anybody more than the Giants. It was just such a legendary place. I was very proud to be a part of the organization." Whoa, hold on. Listen to what he had to say in this next statement. "I'm going to tell you where I ran into trouble. It was when I felt like we had the pieces. We know that Eli Manning is a little older. I've been here now. I've given up 2 seasons. I've shown you I can hoop. And I felt like they never put people around Eli. It bothered me because it never felt like they built around him and we kept drafting, but we were just drafting, not like building an organization or a franchise." Also adding, "We were just never good. I ran into that problem when I felt that they weren't growing and evolving as an organization. I wasn't winning. I hated losing that bad. I was having great seasons. I hated losing. I hated it. It just felt like I was coming to the end of the road and was pushing for something that wasn't really tangible, and that's where it all went haywire for me." Now hold on, you see right there, that's why I have a lot of respect for Odell. You can say what you want, is he a diva, is he not, whatever. This guy wants to win. He said he hated losing, 3 to 4 times in that quote? I would be frustrated too. Put yourself in your shoes. Imagine doing what he was doing, putting up legendary numbers, and you're still not even winning or coming close. I don't think you understand how quite good this man was. He had 35 touchdowns in his first 43 NFL games. In his first 3 seasons, he had 91 catches, 96, and 101. Overall, a interesting situation. Were the Giants in the right or Odell? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Here's how I look at it. Odell was putting up legendary numbers. I'm going to say it. They were legendary. And they were low-key hating on the man. Did he have some problems? Yeah, but guess what? You got to deal with him when he's as good as he is. While Odell was playing for the Giants, he said mentally, physically, spiritually, he was depressed. It actually got so bad, and I can't believe nobody brought this up or has talked about it at all. He questioned his love for football. He didn't even know if he wanted to play anymore because when he first started playing for the Giants, he was a kid, he was having fun, he was doing dances. But later in his career, it wasn't so fun with all the drama. If you're an athlete, I think you can somewhat relate to Odell. We've all played for that one coach where he literally takes your love for the game away and he doesn't make it fun. That's why I felt really bad for Odell with the Giants. I think they did him wrong. Anyways, let's continue on. We all understand that by now. In his first year for the Cleveland Browns in 2019, it was relatively smooth. He played in all 16 games, had 74 catches for 1,035 yards. You'll take that. But in his second year, 2020, the injury problems started to happen. He only played in 7 games, had 23 catches for 300 yards. In 2021, this year, he's only played in 6 games, has 17 catches for a miserable 232 yards. And now we can get into the best part of the video and the biggest controversy. Obviously, if you're watching this by now, if you don't know, what are you doing? He's been released by the Cleveland Browns, or waived, something like that. In his first year for the Browns, it was okay. In his second year, it wasn't good, and people were giving him the benefit of the doubt. Him and Baker Mayfield aren't on the same page, but hey, it takes a while. We understand it. But after 2 years, when you see what's been going on, if you've been watching the games, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out this duo is not going to work. Odell knows it, Cleveland knows it, Baker Mayfield knows it, everybody with a brain cell, they get it. The problem and what people don't know what to feel or think about is who is the blame on? Is it Odell's fault or Baker Mayfield's fault? I'm gonna be honest, I thought it was equal, Baker's not getting him the ball and Odell's not having some good years. After seeing what Odell's dad posted on Instagram, it changed my mind completely. If you don't know what I'm talking about by now, you can go check it out. Odell Beckham reposted a YouTube video that is 12 minutes long of a compilation of basically Odell Beckham wide open, burning his receivers, and Baker Mayfield underthrowing him or not getting him the ball. I gotta throw this in there. I'm not much of an NFL fan. I watch it, but I don't really select players that are my favorites. I'm mutual on this, so you're gonna get an honest opinion. I've been seeing rumors saying Odell's washed up. After watching that video, no, absolutely not. Odell's not washed up. He's still got the juice. He is blowing past defenders. He's got great moves, good footwork. Baker Mayfield simply can't get him the ball. I don't know if he has something out for him. I'm going to throw this in there. I don't know. I've heard speculation saying Baker Mayfield has too big of an ego to let Odell be the best player on the team. Maybe that's so. It doesn't matter. Here's what we know. It doesn't work, so they can't play on the same team. I'm going to set this straight. I don't believe Odell's falling off. I believe the Browns and him, they weren't a good fit. He's got to move on. People think because his numbers are falling off slowly, he's becoming a worse player. That's just simply not the case. Let's be honest with ourselves. You can put Michael Jordan on the worst NBA team. I don't care how good Michael Jordan is, he's not going to lead them to the finals. You got to have some help. You can say what you want. I'm a Michael Jordan fan. That man is a alpha male. He is a dog. He's the GOAT. But if you don't surround him with some other pieces, it's not going to work. In high school, yeah, he could carry a high school terrible team to a championship, but not the NFL or the NBA. But hold on. I gotta say this, Baker Mayfield threw some shots at Odell. Listen to what he had to say after the most recent win. I'm proud of these guys, how they were able to focus up despite all the bullcrap that was going on this week, and how they were able to handle their job. Also adding this about Odell Beckham. My feelings haven't changed. I wish him well. From a personal standpoint, he's a good friend of mine. We still haven't talked, but that doesn't change things. I wish him well. I wish him the best in his career, but I'm worried about the guys in our locker room. Hold on, Baker Mayfield. At least for me, I can't call someone a friend if we don't talk. If we're not talking, we're not friends. So what are you trying to say? I understand he's got to say what he's got to say to the media just so they shut up, but come on now. You and Odell, you're not friends. Since the Cleveland Browns have waived him, it's been said that Odell, quote unquote, does not want to go to just any team. He's hoping to go to a playoff contender and in a winning environment where he believes he would be happy and productive. That is according to Adam Schefter on ESPN. It's also been said, now this is where Odell's his little diva comes out. If a team that does not fit this criteria claims Beckham and the $7.25 million remaining on his contract, there could be potential issues for that team, according to a source. Although it is unclear exactly what those issues would be. So is Odell's manager or whoever saying those quotes for him insinuating he's going to be a troublemaker if he goes somewhere he doesn't want to be? That's what it feels like and seems like. According to his agent, the three teams he has narrowed down are the Seahawks, 49ers, and the Saints, but he prefers the Seattle Seahawks. For the Browns waiving him, nobody's shocked. We knew it was going to happen. We just didn't know when. I will say this is a win for the Browns and a win for Odell. It wasn't a good fit. Move on. It's a toxic relationship that never should have started. You can't have Odell, who has a big ego, playing along with Baker Mayfield, who also has a big ego. It's not going to work. Just like relationships. Have you noticed that normally you got a quiet person and a loud person in a relationship? You can't have two loud people. It doesn't work. Can Odell revive his career? I think so. I don't see why not. Let's look at these numbers. Once again, in 2014 through 16, look at it. Just flat out ridiculous. 35 touchdowns, over 1,400 yards roughly a season. Let's look at his last three. Not so hot. Had one 1,000-yard year, and then he's been battling injuries and the whole controversy with the team. Is he washed up, or is he in a bad phase of his career? I guess we'll have to wait and see. All we can go off of is the numbers. Numbers never lie, and his career is slowly declining each and every season. I understand injuries have a play in it, but hey, it doesn't matter. The best ability is availability. If you're not on the field, it doesn't matter. I would love nothing more to see this man go out there and ball out and shut up all these haters and critics. I think it's absurd to say this man can't play anymore. I'm not going to say he's in his prime. I mean, maybe physically he might be in his prime, but he's for sure not washed up. I think he's been handling it well, honestly. He hasn't been as much as a character on the Browns like he was for the Giants. I'm wishing this man the best of luck. I want to see him succeed just like every other NFL athlete. I think he will. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. But with all that being said, it's going to wrap up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something. If you're new to the channel, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button and leave a like for more. And as always, let's be great. I'm out, y'all. Peace.